brazen, game-faced, based on Azazel. Azazel? Who or what the fuck is Azazel?
Here come the bully. I'm such a meanie. I just do what I feel. Do you feel me? Do you feel me?
Greetings, all you beautiful people. Welcome to my channel. And if you're returning, welcome back to my channel. I am your host, Chizzek-Juan, Chizzek-Juan, in the house. Literally in the house. In my house. That's right, the old white suburbanite is back. And I'm bringing you something beautiful, something special. It is the final of my 5 videos breaking down, doing a deep dive and analysis of Aesop Rock tracks. We started out with, these are all from his Impossible Kid CD. One of the best records ever made. I mean, that entire album is a masterpiece, but there are 5 tracks specifically in the middle that just always get me. And as I've mentioned in previous videos, these 5 tracks, individually and collectively, tell just such an amazing story that I am compelled to share them, or share my enthusiasm and my breakdown of these tracks and why I think they're just so amazing. So we've done 4 of them already. We started out with Supercell. Go check that out if you haven't. After Supercell, we did Blood Sandwich. After Blood Sandwich, we did Get Out of the Car. And finally, last time, it was Shrunk, which is personally my favorite track off the album. But not very far behind is, of course, this one, Kirby, which is, it's just such a perfect cap to end these 5 tracks, this story that he begins with Supercell and ends with Kirby. So I broke down the other 4. Now I'm going to break down the 5th one. And really, this is the easiest one. I'm pretty sure that if you're listening to me right now, you know for the most part what the track is about. So I'm going to go and deep dive into it anyways, because I think there's a lot more there than what meets the eye, as is the case with pretty much all of Aesop's tracks. But most people already get the big gist, right? It's about his cat. Well, why the fuck is he rapping about his cat in the first place? And why is this the most fitting, such a wonderful endpoint, such a perfect telomere to the rest of this? That's what we're here to do.
Hey, Kirby, what you doing, Kirby? What you doing there? Hey, Kirby, what you doing, Kirby? What you doing there? Hobgoblin, shots of hot strontium. Vaccine queen deemed church socks hostage. 9 weeks awesome, hides in a slipper. Look in her eye like she might be a wizard. Cold man.
Jeez, where do I go? Where do I go? Right? Are we to talk about the video? How awesome is the video? I mean, how well does this fit into who Aesop is? Right? This is a recluse. It's not a persona. It's not an act, right? It's not the celebrity who says that he hates the paparazzi and then tips off the paparazzi as to when he's going to go to the supermarket or whatever so they can follow him. You know, not a hypocrite. Aesop is, I mean, obviously I can't live inside the dude's head. Everything is my personal guesswork, and as people have already mentioned in comments many times, I'm completely off, so I want to put that caveat here first. I don't consider myself an authority. I'm just a big fan. I'm a big fan of this album. I'm a big fan of these songs, and I just want to share my thoughts, and hopefully some people will find something in there worth discussing and sharing as well. I'm not here to disabuse people of their ideas and their beliefs and interpretations, simply sharing my own. All right, having said that, look at this. This dude uses a googly-eyed Muppet to represent himself. Because he doesn't want to be, like, just leave me alone. I myself don't want to be in these videos. Just do whatever you want. Like, leave me out of it. I don't know. This really strikes me like, hey, this was his idea. He's like, well, What can we do where I'm like not really there? I don't want to be the focus in the center. It's just such a... If I can go off on a tangent just for a moment, it is like the antithesis to somebody like Tom McDonald, where a few people have already mentioned, like more than one person has said, why are you doing reviews of like reaction videos of Tom McDonald's song? He's such a corny dude. Like, he's so cringe, right? How can you be like into Aesop and then do something with Tom McDonald? Like that, it's like they're each other's kryptonite. I'm just using this as a way of comparing the two personalities. I don't want to like piss off the fans by saying this, but let's just say that one wants to be seen, wants to be a star. More than anything, I want to be a star. I want to be a star. I want to be famous. I want to be so famous. And I want to be able to look at all my haters and tell them, look, I'm famous. How you feel about that type of a personality, whether it's a narcissistic personality or not, doesn't matter, all right? I'm not judging that. All I'm saying is that one of these two is like that. And then you have the other one, and the other one's exactly the opposite. The other one's like, I love this rap shit. But like, I gotta put up with this, like, this fame with it. I don't want to do this fame thing. Yeah, I want to eat. I want to eat good, so I gotta make money off this craft. But like, I don't want all this other stuff that goes with it. I don't want to be a star. I don't want to be a famous. Like, leave me alone. Just leave me the fuck alone. They couldn't be more different as human beings. I'm using Tom in this simply as an example to like drive home how insular and how introverted Aesop appears to be through these videos, and how he carries himself and what he chooses to communicate. It's just the full, like, the full negative, or the photo negative of the other one. It's astounding once you like try to compare these two personalities. Okay, let me shut up about that. Let's get back to this video. So breaking apart these first bars, right? Just coming out of nowhere again with what Aesop is. I mean, this is his stamp. He can't leave the supernatural, the mythical, the fantastic. He can't leave that alone. He expresses himself always in this terminology. Starts it out with hobgoblin, right? You can refer to your cat as whatever you want. He's like, hobgoblin. Hobgoblin. Shots of hot strongit. Strongit is it's a pet dewormer. You give it to your pets as a vaccine. Vaccine queen deemed church socks hostage. Vaccine queen. What's going on here? The hobgoblin is his cat Kirby. Just got shots against worms. Just got the dewormer shots. So she's the vaccine queen. She deems the church socks hostage. Because if you know anything about cats, they love socks because it smells like their owners, and that they just love playing it. Just watch a fucking cat. You know what they like to do. How's it go? So, hobgoblin, shots of hot strongit. Vaccine queen deemed church socks hostage. 9 weeks awesome. Hides in a slipper. So, it's a kitten. It's only 2-month-old kitten. Hides in a slipper. Look in her eye like she might be a wizard. Wizard? Hobgoblin? Wizard? Keeps on going with these fantasy mythology references. Here we go.
Week's awesome, hides in a slipper. Look in her eye like she might be a wizard. Cold met a cat lady in a parking lot. She got the heroes of tomorrow in a cardboard box, and probably hoarding 40 more in the corners of Fort Knox. Swap 20 on a spot and cop the warlock. Back at the haunt bound.
Yo! Cold met a cat lady in a parking lot. She got the heroes of tomorrow in a cardboard box. So, probably like Craigslist or something, right? Met a cat lady who's got a bunch of kittens. And he does this exchange. He does the purchase of the kitten at a parking lot from a cat lady who's got the heroes of tomorrow, a bunch of kittens, in a cardboard box. Swap 20 on the spot. Gives 20 for the kitten. And cops the warlock. Again, warlock. So here we go. Hobgoblin, wizard, warlock. And these references, these allusions to these fantastic beings, that it's just on repeat. I mean, he just keeps coming back to this over and over again, that this is just the way he communicates.
Fort Knox, swap 20 on a spot and cop the warlock. Back at the haunt, found God in the hamper. Briefs on her head, playing walking with a panther. Good around misery and golden era samplers. Jeopardy and wheel at the heels of her handlers.
Yo. How does he do this? How does he put so much into so little? That this is a gift that very few people have. And he's at the peak of this very, very small pyramid, because I can't put too many people on it. And not only that, let's just talk about the flow in this, the choice of vowels and how they play off each other in this flow. Listen to this shit. Back at the haunt, found God in a hamper.
Back at the haunt, found God in the hamper. Briefs on her head, playing walking with a panther.
Back at the haunt, found God in a hamper. Not God, literally God. That here is just slang for his new friend. Back at the haunt, found God in the hamper. So where's Kirby? Right? Back at the haunt, back in the house. Where's Kirby? Kirby's in the hamper with the laundry, of course, because cats love the smell of humans, of their owners. So they're going to be with the socks, with the laundry, etc.
Back at the haunt, found God in the hamper. Briefs on her head, playing walking with a panther.
Briefs on her head, playing Walking with a Panther. Now, this is a great reference, because Walking with a Panther is an album from LL Cool J back in the 80s. And if you don't know the album, you got to check it out. I mean, that's a classic album. It's got Big Old Butt on it. Tina got a big old butt. Brenda got a big old butt. That's a great chorus off the track. It's got Jingling Baby, go ahead baby, the jingling baby, go ahead baby. And if you check out the cover of Walking with a Panther, it's LL Cool J with his Kango hat on. He's got a big panther, giant black cat with him. So of course, right, it's a reference because it's a cat doing a cat thing from this classic hip hop album. So that's just a nice little reference that he threw in there. Briefs on her head, playing Walking with a Panther.
Good around misery and golden era samplers. Jeopardy and wheel at the heels of her handlers.
This part can mean so many different things. Good around misery and golden era samplers. All right. So again, good around misery? Why misery? Well, because this is Aesop, and he's always depressed. He's always miserable. He's the impossible kid. The cat's fine with it. Cat's like, whatever, you be miserable, I don't care. I'm a cat, right? Good around misery. And golden era samplers. Now this part, if you go on like Rap Genius or some other sites, you might read that golden era samplers are a type of incense packs, right? That's what they say, that there's incense packs. And maybe they are, maybe that's exactly what it means. But I always thought that golden era samplers referred to like sampling of the golden era of hip hop, right? Because that's what Ace is all about. I mean, Ace is a student of hip hop. He's not just doing the new shit or just doing his own shit. He studies the classics. And you can hear it in the way he just delivers the stuff and the language he uses. I mean, he's a huge fan of the old... Let me bring it home, right? It hasn't happened yet, but you'll hear it in the track. You gotta... in the chorus, you hear the sample, ain't taking no shorts. That ain't taking no shorts, that's sampled from Sparky D, who was one of the first female battle MCs from New York. And she's got a song, I forget the name of the song, like Not Running or something. Don't quote me on that. But if you ever heard of like Roxanne Shante, the real Roxanne, and the Roxanne Wars back in the mid-'80s or early '80s, mid-'80s, somewhere around there, and the battle tracks that kept on going back and forth from those female MCs. One of those female MCs was Sparky D. Not taking no shorts, that's taken directly from her. So like, Ace is all about the classic shit. He knows his stuff. Like this track in itself, I thought actually that this was a fully original composition. Only when I dug deeper into it, I found out that this track samples theme from the planets by Dexter Wenzel, and my apologies for butchering the name, Wenzel, however you pronounce that last name. Theme from the Planets is one of the most sampled instrumentals. Some of the biggest names in hip-hop have sampled that track. J. Cole has sampled it. You can go online and check it out. If you go to like whosampled.com and you put in Dexter Wenzel, Theme from the Planets, you'll see Eric B. and Rakim sampled it. Ice-T sampled this track. The biggest names in hip-hop have sampled this particular piece, especially the drums, because the drums are just classic.
Good around misery and golden era samplers. Jeopardy and wheel at the heels of her hand.
Jeopardy and wheel at the heels of her handlers. Okay. Jeopardy and wheel, obviously, we're talking about Jeopardy and wheel and fortune, right? Wheel at the heels of her handlers. Okay. Multiple ways of looking at this. So first of all, it could just be like, yeah, she's at the heel of her handlers. Or what it could also mean is Jeopardy and wheel at the heels. So what do you do with Wheel of Fortune? Well, you spin the wheel. And this is the motion they always do, right? They spin the wheel. Well, what does a cat do when it's doing something? It's doing the same motion as spinning the wheel, and it's doing it at the heel of the handler, which would be at Aesop's heel, like, which is what cats do, right? And Jeopardy, why put Jeopardy in there? Well, because Jeopardy, everything you do with Jeopardy is a form of a question, right? You always answer in the form of a question. And in this case, it'd be like, what is this? And you're doing this motion at the heel of Aesop.
More than a pet to worship, it's an MD recommended sense of purpose. Here to bat around keys and the means to euphoria. Soon to be held the greatest of all warriors. Hey, Kirby.
More than a pet to worship. It's an MD recommended sense of purpose. Now, this is a hugely important line, especially in the context of the previous 4 songs. It's not just a pet. This was recommended to Aesop by his clinician or his psychotherapist or psychologist, whoever he had to see. That's what the last song was about, Shrunk, right? Where he's going to see his shrink to help him with all of his problems. And this is actually the recommended solution or treatment for the problem. Ace, you're having these existential issues. You're having trouble figuring out what to do with, like, how to reintegrate yourself back into a healthy mindset and reintegrate yourself back into society. Because you're becoming a hermit. You're depressed. The med's not working. Get a kitten. Get a cat. Take care of another life. Just the act of taking care of another life and being a caretaker is going to get you somewhere. You might actually just, that in itself might spark a reason why to stick around, right? We don't actually know how bad Aesop's mental problems are, but when it's a recommended sense of purpose, we can guess that Ace didn't understand the point of living. What's the point? What's the point of anything? Those are clear signs of battling with depression. Well, this is an MD recommended sense of purpose. These are the results of those psychotherapy sessions with the shrink in the previous video, in the previous track, Shrunk. More than a pet to worship. It's an MD recommended sense of purpose.
It's a purpose here to bat around keys and the means to euphoria.
Here to bat around keys and the means to euphoria, means to happiness, right? Soon to be hailed the greatest of all warriors. This dude is battling his depression and winning, right? He's going to be hailed as a warrior who beat Ace's depression.
Soon to be held the greatest of all warriors. Hey, Kirby, what you doing, Kirby? What you doing now? Hey, Kirby, what you doing, Kirby? Why'd you eat that leaf? Yo, homie, don't fetch. rich, only woke to stretch under a fort bubble rich with bowls of goldfish. Skittish in a company of stranger danger, otherwise chase drawstrings, tails, and lasers.
There's so many things to talk about in the song, but let's just appreciate how well he flows over these beats. I mean, this is just such a fun song to listen to, move to, rhyme to, just rap along with him, just say the same words as he is at the same time. It's just so much fun. Homie, don't fetch, only woke to stretch under a thought bubble rich with bowls of goldfish, right? You just gotta imagine it. Imagine that the cat's got a little thought bubble rising out of its head, and in there is just a picture of a bowl full of goldfish, because, you know, cats love playing with, that they want to try to catch the goldfish in an aquarium or like in a bowl. It's just a classic scene between a cat and a fish.
Skittish in a company of stranger danger.
Skittish in a company of stranger danger. Stranger danger. Only Ace would say that. It's just like a really academic term to describe how you want your little children to behave in the company of people they don't know. Think of strangers as danger so you don't get kidnapped. Only he would come up with stranger danger and say this is a good set of words to use in his lyrics about his cat.
The whites chase drawstrings, tails, and lasers in a steel cage match with a maze of cables. Brazen, game face based on Azazel.
Brazen, game face based on Azazel. Azazel? Who or what the fuck is Azazel? Azazel is a it's part of Jewish and Christian religion. Azazel could be a place, but it's mostly interpreted as being a either a fallen angel or a demigod or some type of a creature that you offer goats to as a sacrifice. So if you've ever heard the term scapegoat, somebody who takes the fall for somebody else, or simply a religious sacrifice, you take the sins of the community onto yourself and you sacrifice yourself, and in this way you cleanse the community of all their sins, because you took their sins on yourself and sacrificed yourself to Azazel, the who knows what it is, some kind of a forest spirit, demigod, fallen angel, creature, who knows. So Azazel is the creature that takes your scapegoat so that you can be clean. If Kirby is like Azazel, then he is cleansing Aesop of Aesop's sins. And in a sense, healing, reforming, redeeming Aesop. Just the fact that Kirby exists and is in Aesop's presence, in his company, Aesop is being redeemed.
Oversized ears up, puke in the meow mix, shred a pair of earbuds, remedy is cowlick. Thanks, Curbs, looking like a millie. Keep an old man sharp, keep a cold chantilly. Spun plum dizzy in a frisky moment, never lands on her feet, though I think she's broken.
I just further describing all of the wonderful things that the cat does from just an observer's perspective. Yeah, all these, okay, puke in the meow mix being the food, you know, chewed up his earbuds. All right, well, what's the remedy of all this? Remedy is cowlick. Yeah, okay, you do this nasty stuff, you chewed up my earbuds, you puked in the meow mix, all of that is gross, but, you know, you keep an old man sharp through your cowlicks. Thanks a lot, Curb. Looking like a millie. Keep an old man sharp, keep a cold chantilly. I think it's a type of frosting or whipped cream, and cats love that shit. So keep a cold chantilly in your fridge to give to Kirby. You can give the cold chantilly to Kirby as a treat or as a snack. I'm not a cat owner. I know cats are carnivores, so I don't know anything about that, but I think that's what he's referring to.
Mouse are in training, nap on the toaster, decorator cubicle with dogs playing poker.
Mouse are in training, right? That's what cats do. Nap on a toaster. Cats love to sleep on warm surfaces like a toaster. Decorate her cubicle with dogs playing poker. For those who don't know, I'm assuming most of you do, but Dogs Playing Poker is a series of paintings. They're actually quite famous. All right, let me try this video effect. Let me see if I can do this right. The picture that I'm talking about, that's just one out of many dogs playing poker. And the whole thing's just hilarious. Decorate her cubicle. Like, you see, now Kirby's not a creature anymore. Now it's just, it's engaged in the same mundane daily activities that every other ordinary human being is engaged in. So it's sort of like, see, Ace, once again, does something beautiful by putting these words together in this order. On the one hand, he's always about the mythological, the spiritual, the supernatural. And he's also about reminding you just how mundane existence is, that there's these two worlds, right? So here he brings this warlock into his world, and now this fantastic creature that is more like a hobgoblin, a warlock, a wizard. This creature is now part of this very boring, ordinary world that Aesop has. So what is this creature now going to do now that it's part of Aesop's world? Well, what does the average, ordinary, white-collar office environment worker do? Well, they decorate their cubicle in their workspace. And what does the cat decorate her cubicle with? That picture that I showed, the dogs playing poker. It's fucking hilarious because, cats, dogs, it's funny. In fact, it's utterly brilliant, if you ask me. And now we come to the last part.
15 years taking prescriptions, now it's Shrink like, I don't know, maybe get a kitten. Hey, Kirby.
Brilliant. Again, brilliant. Ends it on such a beautiful note. 15 years taking prescriptions, now Shrink like, I don't know, maybe get a kitten. Again, shitting on the shrinks. It's taking the entire field of psychology and psychotherapy and kind of like shanking it in the side, like you guys don't know what you're doing. 15 years of this particular effort, and like as if the shrink is just making up stuff. Like, I don't know, have you tried this? Have you tried that? I'm out of ideas, dude. Like, get a cat or something. I don't know. I actually have, without naming names, I have friends who do suffer from various bouts of depression, long-term depression, serious depression, and they do take medication. And one of the things that are recommended is to perhaps take care of a pet, such as a cat or a dog. That close relationship with another living thing, one that you care for, is often seen as a means of combating one's depression and to put meaning into your life. So it's not just guesswork. It's actually something that mental health professionals do recommend, as I've been told. I'm taking it on their word. So I think Ace is being just a little too hard on the shrink here, but he's not mincing words either. The way he puts it, he's just like, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Classic Ace. All right, so let's just finish it out, because this chorus, I mean, everybody loves this chorus. My 5-year-old daughter sings this chorus in the car. It's the most beautiful thing.
What you doing, Kirby? What you doing there? I'm not taking no short. Hey, Kirby. What you doing, Kirby? What you doing there? I don't know, maybe get a kid. I don't know, maybe get a kid. I don't know, maybe get a kid. I don't know, maybe get a kid.
was a beautiful scene there where the Muppet is laying with Kirby, is gently stroking Kirby. This is the extent of Ace showing affection. Because, like, he's obviously doesn't feel comfortable putting himself out there, like, hey, this is me. I gotta show you how much love I have. This is, he's an introvert. He's an introvert. He's a hermit, and everything he puts out and the way he does it is evidence to that fact. At least to me, anyways. That is what I'm convinced of based on the material that he has put out. This concludes the 5-parter where we break down these 5 tracks off of the Impossible Kid. We had in Supercell, which is here's a quick summary. In Supercell, he is simply dreading going home for the holidays. A very, very common, universal type of set of emotions. And even though it's quite cryptic to a first and second time listen, once you do your research and you find out what the track is about, you're like, this guy's just in a world of psychological hurt and doesn't want to deal with seeing his family because there's a lot of problems he's working through in his head, and he can't just, like, it's not like he doesn't love his family, but he's like, God, do I have to do this? I don't want to deal with all that stuff. And you can really understand where he's coming from. And then after that, we have the track Blood Sandwich, where he's talking about his brothers. And in the chorus, it's very clear. He says it, look, just in case of rough waters, I want to put out one for my brothers. Or I want to put one out, for my brothers. I can't remember the exact flow of that chorus, but that's what he's doing. He's saying, look, the way things are going with me, like, I don't know, it might end badly. Like, I don't really know, right? Those are the rough waters. He's like, just know this, like, I love you guys. You're my family. I think about you. We're close. We're family. Don't hold it against me if I suck being a brother. I love you. And then, of course, after Blood Sandwich, we get out of the car, which is the moment when Ace decides to look deep within himself and recognize where the problems lie, and comes to the conclusion, the determination that his problems at the very least, from the death of a close friend, Camo Tao, and realizes that, hey, it's been almost a decade and I'm not progressing in my life. In fact, I'm regressing. Things are just getting worse with me. Like, to the point where, like, I don't want to go home. I don't want to deal with my family. I don't want to deal with anyone. I'm living in a barn trying to get this album done. I need help. I need help. That's the conclusion of Get Out of the Car. I need help. I'm going to get out of this car. I'm going to go and do something proactive for myself because I owe it to myself and the close people around me. Then we get to Shrunk. Shrunk, first of all, though I didn't say it in the previous video, I'm saying it in this one. Shrunk is just such a perfect name because obviously it's the past tense of shrink, which is he's going to see the shrink. But what does he feel that these sessions with the shrink do? They feel like he becomes smaller as a person. It just shrinks him, like literally the verb to shrink, where, well, your ego can allow you to think that you're larger than life, that there's really more to you than there actually is. And if you go to the shrink, you realize, there's not that much of me actually. I'm quite ordinary. I'm quite tiny. And I think that he's using the term shrunk on purpose in that sense to say the process of seeing the shrink makes me feel small. And after Shrunk, we get Kirby, the results of these sessions with the shrink. So we go from, I'm having trouble even seeing my family, but I love my family. I know something's wrong. Something's really wrong. Okay, I'm going to do something about it. Here, I'm doing something about it, but I hate it. I hate these shrink sessions. I hate these sessions. I wish I didn't do them. But I gotta do them because I need to improve. I got Kirby with me. I've made the proper step. I'm getting better. And Kirby's helping me. God, that's beautiful. Love it. Love it. Brings a tear to my eye when I describe it this way. And who knows? I might be, again, like I say, I might be completely in left field, or I might be hitting the bullseye. Regardless of what it is, even if it isn't that, the very fact that the music in this form of expression brings out these emotions in me is testament to the value and the artistry in these songs. And I'd like to believe that I'm understanding it correctly. Again, your mileage may vary. You can agree or disagree, but that's the way I see it. And with that, I'm glad I finally got it all out. I'm glad we got to this point. If you've watched to this point, hey, I thank you very much for being with me on this journey. I'm probably going to do more Aesop tracks, but this one was a project specifically for these 5 because they mean so much to me from beginning to end. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you soon in the next one. Thanks a lot, everyone. Peace.
Tap tada tada tap tada tap tada tada tap tada tap tada tada tap tada tap tada tada tap tada
Chizzek-Juan.